Welcome back to Iggy's Toy Parade and Soldier Review. Once again, this is your host Iggy. Hi guys, how you doing today? I think you've probably been oversaturated with Civil War soldiers, so I thought what we'd do is change gears slightly and present to you some more GI Joes. I went to my storage space today and I found a small box which surprisingly held quite a number of Joes, as you see here. All of this was in a very tiny box. Let me show you the box so you know what I mean. It's a recycled postage box, not very big. And I just killed an Australian. That's not something I want to be doing. So let's pick him up. The thing is with Australians is that you can't keep them down. They stand right back up and put their hats back on and they're ready for combat. Okay, see what I mean? He's back in business. Okay, so what you have here is an assortment of classic collection and also anniversary edition figures. Now, this figure here, let's start off over here, okay? This guy here came in a coffin box, and as you can see here, and the artwork for the box was done by the original G.I. Joe illustrator, Sam Petrucci. Did I say that correct? Hopefully someone from his family is not watching this, so I don't want to wreck their name. I think it's San Petrucci or Petrucci, but Italian is pronounced Petrucci. Petrucci. Oh, I'm okay. I'm getting stuck there. So let's move on. And this is of a Normandy Ranger. This, of course, was inspired by the Saving Private Ryan. And I believe this is dated from 1998. And it shows the new G.I. Joe head sculpt. Now, the problem with that is the head was rather small, but they're using the original G.I. Joe helmet, which does not fit. So they had to put these, what appears to be earmuffs. You see that? The foam to keep his helmet from rattling around on his skull and looking somewhat silly. But I don't care for that. Perhaps if I painted it OD green or something, it wouldn't be as noticeable. But this figure is cool because he has the cloth. Sorry, I'm shaking pretty bad here. He has the cloth leggings. He comes with a Thompson submachine gun or a Browning automatic rifle. Would you like to see the back of his combat vest? This figure I bought for $10, and originally I think it was available through the G.I. Joe Collectors Club, and I think it was $40, but you had to be a member of the club, which I was, and I bought one. But this one I think I got for 10 because they clearanced it. What is that? Oh, that's his E-tool, and he's got a pistol there. Okay. But it's a pretty cool figure. I have a Tom Hanks head sculpt that I put on one of the figures. I think I bought 5 of these because they were so reasonably priced that I couldn't help myself. I sold one of them on eBay, but I kept the others. I've showed you a couple of these in the past, and this is just yet another one. Now, this one is the Soldiers of the World Australian Jungle Fighter. And of course, he came with his original equipment, which was, he came with a Victoria Cross medal, a flamethrower, this E-tool that is a shovel and a pickaxe, hand grenades, and a machete and a trench knife, which was a combination of brass knuckles and a knife. And this was a triumph and also a tragic loss for G.I. Joe collectors. And I'll explain that in just a second here. But first, we'll look at this manual because this is funny. You're like, well, what's funny about it? Well, it says counterintelligence manual. Why would a empire forces be investigated with a counterintelligence manual? We have our British Tommy and our Aussie. Here's French resistance, although many of the French resistance were communists, so they might end up in that. Now we have our Russian friend. We have our Jap. I don't care for what Sam did with this illustration. If you notice, they all look rather heroic, with the exception of the Japanese, who look sinister. I don't know. I don't want to get into a rant, but I think they should have just made him look like an ordinary Japanese. This is humorous. You could move your G.I. Joe fighting man in positions that a real life soldier can assume. Well, I was in the Army. I don't remember ever doing this or this unless I was had gas, or I don't know. I promised I wouldn't make those jokes. So maybe they're doing yoga. Who knows? But that's not why I'm showing this to you. Okay, we start off with the Australian jungle fighter. No problem there. Everything looks in order. We go to the next page, if I can. And here's the German. Okay? What's that say? And it shows a Nambu pistol with holster and his field pack. Turn the page, and we have a British Tommy, but it says French resistance fighter with a radio set and a knife. And this one is the Russian soldier, and he appears to be okay. So that's fine. But here is an Imperial Japanese, and it says German soldier. So what has happened? Oh, and it shows a Luger. What appears to have happened is, okay, and this one says British Commando, and clearly it's the French resistance fighter. But it shows the British canteen and gas mask. Here's all the, this figure here came in a package that was very similar to this one, although I think this part was over here. But I could be mistaken. I bought 4 of them because they were only $3.74 at Target. So this is what I mean when I say this was a triumph and a tragedy. Getting one of these for $3.74 is awesome. But what it means is that some clerk at Target neglected or forgot to put out cases of G.I. Joe Australians in time for Christmas. And they didn't show up on the shelf until after Christmas, and they were forced to clearance them. Well, you say, well, why is that bad? Well, the sales were so poor that affected them. They did come out with these, although I think Action Man may have come out. I think Action Man came out with the German. I know for a fact. They may have come out with some of these other ones, but I don't know. But here in the States, all we got was the Australian, and the rest of it was canceled. So if Palitoy continued, I did look up a German Palitoy figure, and they wanted $500 for it. So I'm like, oops, I don't think Iggy can do that. Okay, so this figure here is a 40th anniversary Joe. He's a redhead. I like that. Notice that he's very handsome. Joe is a handsome guy. Notice how they make the European Joe look kind of mean, isn't he? And I'm wondering if that's for the sake of the German soldier and the Russian soldier. The only one to get his own head sculpt out of these figures here was the Japanese. This is the scramble pilot. Now, I believe I did a video on this already. I've forgotten the details already, but it came out, I think, in 2001. And it came with a life raft, an air vest, a parachute, map and case, clipboard. It's got a first aid kit. So in other words, it comes with a nice assortment of accessories, and this predates the 40th anniversary sets. So this is a nice set to have because you don't have to buy anything extra. It comes with everything. And now this is a 40th anniversary Joe, which of course you can see right there. And I'll show you him real quick. He comes in two different varieties. The prototype cap, which was made of cloth, and then the more common cap, which was the plastic one. And this is a fatigue cap that would have been common in the 1950s. When I was a boy, I always thought G.I. Joe was a World War II soldier, but he was probably more influenced. I think Joe Levine served in the Korean War, so they probably were more influenced with that. And if you were doubtful, you just look at the pilot and you know it's post Korean War. Okay, now I promised you a bonus, so let me get the bonus here for you and bring them around. Hopefully I don't drop them. And this is a Dragon Models Limited figure. This fella's name is Ernst. Can you see it? I got his cap too low because he fell over. There he is. There's Ernst. And he's using a sniper rifle, a Gewehr 43 with scope. And you can see that there. It has a has cartridge clip there. And got the scope. It's very nice. He's wearing a lace-up smock, which is in the splinter pattern, or sometimes called rain pattern. You see those, it looks like rain coming down there on his coat there. And this is a pretty nice figure. I like Dragon figures. They put out some good stuff. I think my favorite figures are Blue Box International and In the Past Toys. And I showed you a couple of German German figures about, 20 videos ago or something. You'd have to look it up. The one is of an Afrika Korps figure, and the other one is a Luftwaffe pilot. Okay, that's our bonus figure, guys. He's not wearing his equipment. I probably have that somewhere else. Oh, there is one more item I can share with you as somewhat of a bonus. And that's this here. This is Ultimate Soldier Ranger. And he's a bar gunner. And you see his cartridge belt. He has the pouches for the bar clips. He's got the herringbone uniform. And the Rangers had a slightly different uniform than like guys in the 29th Infantry or the 1st Infantry Division. And of course, Ultimate Soldier made really great equipment. And this Ranger uniform's not bad. Some of their other uniforms I didn't care for, but the Ranger one I do like. And they used the same uniform for their Navy corpsmen, and it was pretty nice fabric. Okay, guys, that's it for me. This is Iggy saying thank you for coming along and getting Iggy with it. I encourage you to enlist in the Iggy Army. And I think it's time for us to all go down to Woolworths and sit at the diner counter. And I'm going to get a grilled ham and cheese sandwich, but you guys can get a burger and fries if you like. And maybe get some apple pie. I don't know. Sounds good to me. So I'll see you later. I want to thank you for coming along. And this is where I just cut it out, or stop it